Our catchphrase is you only need 100 people to pay you $50 a month to make $60,000 a year. That's our tagline or whatever, right? So like so we're focusing on, you've got to get a bunch of people, but it's not a whole bunch of people. But at $5 a pop, you got to spread a little bit wider. You got to have more people. So it is going to be, I guess, more content and audience focused. So how do you grow that audience that can support going a little bit wider? And how do you market that membership and break even on ads and do all those things?
So $5 Dinners is a highly trafficked website in and of itself. And both memberships are woven everywhere. They can be on the $5 Dinners website. So whether that's a little side, we have our own little ad units. It's like sidebar ad, or it's within the content of a recipe post, or it's in an article. So that's probably the primary for both. I guess I could speak to both. The second would be our email newsletter, the $5 Dinners. Now it's the Aaron Chase email newsletter, gets sent out to a lot of people and every week. And there's always a mention and a link in there. Like, here's a list of recipes, but if you want more, you want to customize, personalize, go here to do that. Become a member. So website, email, we have SEO. It's not our top priority. Our top priority is email, and then lead gen into the email, obviously.
Like getting as much content out as possible, get them on the email list, then push them through the email, right?
Right. And $5 Dinners has a high domain authority, and it has a lot of great SEO already. So it's kind of a combination of all the things.
How did you get to that point? Like, I mean, having an older site and being, out there gives you a lot of domain authority. But like when you first started content creating, which built all this, like, you've got breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel, where you've been writing posts for, forever. Like, how much content did you create in the beginning? Do you do a blog post a week? Were you doing 10 blog posts a week? And I know you do a lot of, not this year, but you speaking and TV appearance, public appearances and things like that. But like, what about the content play at the beginning? Do you think you just threw so much mud on the wall that the traffic built over time? Or why does that, or how did you do that through your content?
Now it's just kind of its own machine. We just keep feeding it once a week now. It used to be 2 posts a day.
What? 2 posts a day? That is prolific, Aaron Chase.
But they're not like long. They're not, 2,000 word articles. They're just like, hey, here's a coupon. Hey, here's an offer for an email newsletter for Pillsbury, and they'll mail you $3 off coupons or whatever. So there's a lot of short, quick stuff. And then recipe posts, we've always kept them either just the recipe, without the story fluff that a lot of people complain about.
Right.
Or it's an article, like a how-to with photo. Like, we have a lot of photo tutorial type recipes. So it's one or the other. There's not a lot of there's a lot of Aaron and the boys in the website, like woven throughout the years, but it's not like every single time I'm telling you a long drawn out story. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want that. You don't want that. So I think it is that. And I think too, being in the food space, there's not a shortage of budget friendly recipes in the world. So there's that is helpful. Like the more niche you get into a topic, the harder it is to come up with content, over and over and over, especially if it's longer form content or you need to write longer articles to then, get people into your world so that they're buying a higher ticket price.
Oh, I see. So you're saying keeping it
game.
Yeah. Keeping it broad helped you to have so much content ideas where you could go 2 posts a day, even though the concept is niched. It's, budget dinners, but then you got a lot of room to talk. How long did you do 2 posts a day though? Yeah. I don't care how short they are.
Years.
Really? Yeah. That's amazing.
4, 5, 6, 7 years. And then we backed it down to 1 a day. And then it was Monday through Friday. And then it was Monday. And I'm not doing all of this. There've been people helping me all along the way. And then it was Monday, Thursday, Friday. And now it's once a week.
That's amazing. And I think that
also because we have we're like putting out content for other brands now too. It's not just $5 dinners. So.
Right. But you get to focus. You've earned the right to focus because you earned the right to focus. Like, and that's a lesson for everybody. You know, people will come up to me and they'll say, well, like, hey, you know, you do like one thing a week, right? Or you do one thing a day or whatever. And like, yeah, I'm like, you don't get to do what I do now. You have to do what I did. And people want to skip that when they're growing a membership or a website or a podcast or whatever. And that's not how it works. That's just not how it works. You don't get to do that. I remember when we launched the Flip Lifestyle podcast, Jocelyn and I sat down and we recorded 20 episodes of the podcast and we released them every day. Like we could have kept that for 20 weeks or whatever. And we just said, no, these first ones are coming out every day. And then we'll batch another ones and we'll make them come out every day. That'll get us some traction. Right. And eventually we'll scale back, you know, to whatever. And I remember Jocelyn with the elementary librarian. Oh my gosh, she had to have blog post every day and she was on social media every day. And then, yeah. And then once it was done, like US history teachers took me about 2 years to build. We have 6 million words of copy in that product. We counted it. We wrote a textbook. We have worksheets. It's stupid. It's so much content. Like it's more than any textbook has provides to schools. But we counted it one day. But I have not touched that website since 2016. Yeah. Nothing. Zero. Not one blog post. Nothing. Just I share memes on Facebook and it works. Yeah. Right. But that 3 years of writing 6 million words sucked. It was terrible.
You did it and it's paying for itself. That's the whole. Yeah. Very similar, just different.
Different spaces or whatever.
Space, yeah.
My team, it's funny because we put so little work into that site. They call it the redheaded stepchild. They don't even call it US history teachers because I'm like, we don't do anything. We just send an email like every week and say on Monday, like, what are you teaching? And they reply back and we're like, here you go. So it's like, you know,
I love it. That's amazing.
What's old Dave say, baby? If you live like no one else, you get to live like no one else. You know what I mean?